We were able to Skype her in. I'm hoping that the tech works on this. They all assure me that we are in good shape. Yeah! I hope you can hear us.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can!
Great. I'm so sorry that I couldn't be there in person. I was really looking forward to coming there. But let me try and tell you a little bit about Joplin's story in a few short minutes. My name is Kirsty Smith. I'm the Communications Director at the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce. And let's just get this out of the way right up front. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. My family lives about an hour north of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And currently, I live in Joplin, Missouri with my family. So now that everybody's over going, yes, I've seen a few disasters, but I really didn't know what disaster communications was all about until May 22nd. We had an EF5 tornado that tore a 14-mile path through Joplin and the neighboring community of Duquesne. At some points, it moved as slow as only 10 miles an hour. It created even more extensive damage because it was so slow. Some estimates put the wind speed at 300+ miles an hour when the storm hit St. John's Regional Medical Center, one of our hospitals. It began at 5:41 and it was over at 6 p.m. The Joplin tornado destroyed nearly a third of our city. 7,500 homes were obliterated, leaving almost 18,000 people homeless. Nearly 600 businesses were leveled. And sadly, the tornado took 162 of our friends, families, and coworkers from us. On Sunday night, we really thought it was the end of the world. But I can tell you, by Monday morning, we knew that Joplin was going to survive. The chamber here in Joplin is a 5-star chamber. We are a model chamber for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. We have a great disaster plan on our bookshelf, a great one, but it never was taken off of the shelf during the whole tornado event because our disaster plan addressed what we would do in the event that our building, that the chamber office was destroyed. We didn't take into account that maybe a third of our community would be destroyed. So that's the first thing I'm going to tell you today. Don't rely on what you've always done, quote unquote, to share information. Don't rely on how you've always done it in the past. You have to be flexible when you are dealing in a disaster situation. For me, my first course in disaster communications literally started at 5:41 on May 22nd. Communications were down throughout the majority of the city. We didn't have cable television, we didn't have phone service. Text messages seemed to move a little bit better through the community than landline phone calls and text and cellular phone calls. So texting was one way to get our message out. But then we decided to turn to the only other way that we knew we could communicate with our members and the public. Suddenly we had our entire community, the state of Missouri, neighboring states, and the entire nation looking for answers and looking for ways to help Joplin, Missouri. So we went to Facebook. The Chamber has a Facebook page, and we've had a Facebook page for many years. It's a well-respected page, and I think that's the key. That's the second thing I'll tell you today. The key to sharing good messages during disasters is doing it from a source that is a good, verified source, a reliable source. Many of us were on the social scene that night. The very first post about the tornado came from our local radio station. It posted at 6:45 p.m. Remember, I told you the tornado started at 5:41. It was over by 6. At 6:45, the radio station had a post. And that was the first communication that the whole world saw about the tornado, that we could get. The media was on site, but we couldn't get our message out because we had no power. At 6:52, the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce joined the scene. Then we started to see lots of other pages pop up. but we continually saw people coming back to the chamber page because we were the verified source. We were the source that people could count on. Verify, 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 verify. That's the last thing I'm going to tell you. When we were out there on Facebook, there was lots of information being passed out there, lots and lots of good information, and it was information we wanted to share, but we didn't want to put information that wasn't verified out there because we all know how rumors get started. So that was my task. I sat there using my iPhone, using my iPad, trying to get connectivity, trying to post out to the rest of the world what was going on in Joplin, Missouri, what emergency workers needed to do, what people looking for loved ones needed to do. And I was trolling all the other information, trying to grab that good information because, like I said, we were cut off from communications. My normal media contacts were not available to me. I couldn't even get a call through to City Hall to find out what I should be sharing. So really, Facebook is where we were at, and that's the information that we had access to. We continued to use Facebook throughout the first week after the tornado because communications were spotty at best. We found that thousands upon thousands of people were looking at Missouri and looking for how they could help, looking for people that were missing, looking for ways to share donations with Joplin, and the chamber really was right in the middle of all of that. We didn't want to become a donation hub. We didn't want to become a find your loved one call center, but we wanted to share that information out to the public so they would know who to call, they'd know where to go. You'll see I've posted a link to my presentation so you can see some of the statistics. Obviously, our Facebook fan base just grew exponentially during the tornado event. That's obviously been great for us. And we really couldn't have done all of this if we hadn't had commitment from all the technology companies to keep the technology up and running and get us connected. They brought in cellular on wheels towers to really help with the influx of people and all the other downed communication lines. So really, until the first week was over, that's how we were communicating, was via Facebook and a lot of text messaging. Lots and lots of text messaging. If you didn't know how to text well before the tornado, you sure do have the fingers of a 13-year-old now. So my important lessons learned that I want to share with you before we wrap up here today are verify, 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 verify. We don't want to share bad information. We are the Chamber of Commerce. We are a trusted, reliable source that people turn to, so we wanted to be sure we were sharing good information. If you are in the heat of a disaster, if at all possible, assign social media to a staff person or a trusted volunteer, because it took hours and hours and hours of time to stay on top of and to verify. It would have been a much better choice to have me out talking to the media, which is my job, and have somebody else assigned to the social networking task, but we didn't have anybody. Use that established page to share your information for credibility. And make sure you set the tone of your communications early. This confirms your credibility. For us as the chamber, we wanted to be sure that people were safe, obviously. That was a primary concern. But we are a business organization, so we wanted to be sure our businesses were safe. And we wanted to be sure that we shared information that was relevant to businesses. There were lots of Facebook pages offering thoughts and prayers, and we certainly did that as well. But we wanted to remind everybody we wanted to stay the voice of business. So that was the tone that we took really from very early on. And did I mention verify, verify, verify? It's so easy for rumors to spread out of control on Facebook and all social media. So if you want to remain that credible voice for your community, make sure you are dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's. Again, I'm so sorry I can't be there in person. Thank you very much for going to all this effort to Skype me in and let me present. Our Twitter handle is Joplin Chamber. You can see this presentation there, as well as some personal pictures and some personal videos from the devastation here in Joplin. And I want to invite everybody, let's have this conference in Missouri next year. We'll be ready for you then. Thank you.